So, maybe a bit of a tough one. So, as of the 25th of January 2022, I have, for every day for 2 years, done the same thing. And that thing saved my life. And this thing is so simple, and it's so easy to do. It takes 5 minutes. All I did each day was to, at the end of the day, open up my notes on my phone, put a new entry in, and write down every positive thing that had happened during the day. Also trying to find the positives in any negative things that have happened. Now, this can be easier said than done, certainly on the really hard days. But before I get into why that's so important and how to do it, I want to paint you a picture about why I was in the situation where I felt I even needed to do that. So, here goes. "2019 was a particularly bad year for me. In May of 2019, I slipped a disc in my lower back, and it just didn't get better. And it didn't get better. In fact, it got worse and worse and worse until get to the point in around November 2019, and I can't walk. I can walk 2 meters with tears in my eyes. I'm on all the drugs you can imagine. Just awful. So I have to have surgery on my back, which fails, leaving me maybe slightly better. Still can't walk. Then my relationship of 14 years ends. My now ex-partner decides she doesn't want to be with me anymore, and I can't walk, and I'm made to move out of the house that I thought was our family home forever. So, move into 2020. January 2020. I have to move out of the house that I thought was my family home, recover from the heartbreak of my 14-year relationship ending, still can't walk, have to get used to life at my parents' house, and deal with 2 children who are trying to come to terms with their parents splitting up. Wasn't great. Really, the pain alone, I'll be honest, the pain alone in November, December of 2019, prior to the surgery, the pain in itself was bad enough for me to just not want to be on this earth anymore. It was indescribably bad. Like, can't even put a foot weight on one leg without basically collapsing or just bursting into tears. And that's whilst on morphine. So yeah, wasn't great. Now, the one thing I did prior to starting this daily positive thing was I actually journaled a lot. And I think that journaling gets this all kind of fluffy, wanky, like, oh God, you journal. Oh, okay. Like it's really flouncy or something. Couldn't be further from the truth. It's you just spilling your brain onto the page because you need to. And it doesn't, what I like about it is that it's just a stream of consciousness that you just start, I just did it on my phone or did it on my laptop, just started typing out what I was feeling and just letting it run on. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be read by anyone else, even yourself. So it doesn't have to make sense, and it doesn't matter if they're spelling mistakes, and you can swear and you can rage and you can just put your thoughts out there, even if you know the thought isn't true. You're just putting whatever you're thinking onto a bit of paper or onto your screen to get it out of your head. So that's one of the first things I did. But there came a point where that felt like releasing negatives, but what I really needed more of was more positives in my life. So that's when I decided I was going to start writing down positives every single day. Now, on the good days, this is really easy. you just do it. You just go, oh yeah, it was funny when my daughter did this. Oh, I had fun playing Mario Kart with my children, or I cooked myself a nice dinner. No, kind of obvious things. Like if you're going out of your way to do stuff that's fun, like going up to your favorite coffee shop for a coffee, meeting up with a friend, those are the kind of the obvious things. Like they're kind of like the bigger things. But it's finding those kind of the little things sometimes. Lots and lots of little things that might randomly pop into your head as a positive thing. So what I did was I set an alarm on my phone to go off at, I think it was 9 o'clock each evening, and it just said, write your daily positives list. And I'd open up the notes on my phone and sit there and write down all the positive things I could think of. Now, it's a habit that you have to get into. So for the first couple of weeks, it felt like a grind. It did. But I could kind of almost feel the benefits of it as I was doing it. But it wasn't like a long-lasting thing. But once you've done it for a couple of weeks, you get into this... Well, for me personally, I got into this position where something would happen and I go, oh, I'll write that on my positives list later. Or sometimes I go straight away and write my positives in it. For working out, and this is something I've been doing more recently as my back has improved, if I've done a workout, I can also put exactly how many reps of what weight I did, which serves two purposes of being a positive thing that you've done some exercise, but also keeping a record of the training that you've done. So that's quite good. But like I said, it's often the little overlooked things, and this kind of has a crossover with gratitude as well. So maybe sometimes it's like the realization that I wasn't born in war-torn Syria, so I don't have bombs going off. Like, I haven't ever experienced that. There's been little things. You go, oh, isn't it great that I don't experience this, or I don't experience that? It's like, or it can be recognizing the positives. Like, oh, well, 2 weeks ago I was ready to leave this mortal coil, and I don't feel so much like that. Definite positive. Or I feel a little bit less like that. That's a positive. Or maybe it's kind of one day just going, hang on a minute, I've got really great friends. That you've got great friends, but sometimes these things kind of slip away, and then you go, oh yeah, actually, they're really decent. They're really supportive, because you can just go, they're my friends, and you hang out with them and you have fun, but you perhaps don't take that deeper level of appreciating just how fantastic they are. This technique, task, tool is most important to do on the days which are really, really hard. The harder your day has been, the more important it is to do this positive list, because I've said this in a previous video, no one's coming to save you. No one is going to come along and make everything in your life better. The only person who can do that is yourself. And it has to be you that kind of... That's not to say you can't get support and help and things, but the most important person to come along is yourself, to show up for yourself and go, I'm going to make a change, I'm going to do something different, I'm going to make my life better. And for me, it was this positives list that really, really helped, particularly on the bad days. So when something really awful happens to you, it's important to find some positives in it. And maybe they won't be immediately apparent, because it's something awful. And awful things are going to make you feel awful. But how quickly and how well can you find the positive outcome of that thing? So let's say you are in a situation where you're feeling unloved by your partner, and you're not sure, and you're arguing all the time and things aren't going great, and then for whatever reason or however, you find out that, your partner says that you should end things. There's nothing that can change their mind. They definitely want to move on. Maybe they found someone else. Maybe they've just known for ages that the relationship is dead. you're going to feel awful. However, if you're looking for the little positives, at least you know now. And isn't that a good thing? Isn't it positive to, yes, you're feeling hurt, sad, you've got that heartache, things seem awful, but those weeks or months or maybe even years of, is this right? Is this going anywhere? Should we still be together? That's all gone. You've had the weight of that thing lifted. Same with, let's say you get a bad medical diagnosis. At least you know what the problem is now, rather than kind of spending weeks and months Googling whatever is wrong with you. If you get a medical diagnosis, you're like, at least I know now. And knowing is not something to be kind of overlooked, and that is something which, in both of those cases, something that I said, right, okay, at least I know now. And maybe if the relationship didn't really serve you, make you feel great, then maybe it's like, well, yeah, it hurts to go through the process of breaking up, but actually breaking up was the absolute right thing, and I'm much happier and going to be in a much better place as a result of it. Definitely positives. So if it's just a day where you feel a little bit crappy for no apparent reason, then here's a good thing to do to find more positives. Just take a moment, sit, look around, and look at all the things you see, whether that's your TV, whether that's your cat, whether that's your PlayStation, whether that's the room you're in, and just take a moment to go, well, would my life be worse if I didn't have these things? If I didn't have my cat, would I be less happy? If I didn't have my dog, if I didn't have my front room? Just have a look around you and go, yeah, I've got all of this stuff. Would my life be worse without these things? Well, yes, it would. Then you write down, I have a cat. And that's a positive thing, because you said that without it, you'd be sadder. So it's a positive that the cat is in your life, and that you have the room, and you have the TV, and you have the PlayStation. Just looking at the things around you and imagining your life without them kind of brings this sense of gratitude. And gratitude and positivity, they aren't exactly the same thing, but they're pretty good friends, shall we say. So yeah, just look around and think about your life without the things that you see. That's one easy way of finding positives on a bad day. And what about when things have gone wrong? What about when something actually bad has happened? How do you find the positives on those, in the instances where that sort of thing has happened? Well, first of all, you have to find them. You just have to find them. That how long it takes, you have to find them, because it's going to serve you. It's going to make you feel just that teensy bit better, and that can in no way be a bad thing. So what I suggest doing is just kind of try to take the emotion out of anything that's happened, and just kind of explain it to yourself factually. So, this has happened to me. So rather than writing out lines about how awful and heartbroken you are following, the end of your relationship or whatever it might be, those emotional words in this instance don't serve you. They're not going to help you. So rather than thinking it in that term, just think, my relationship is over, or I had this medical diagnosis, or I lost my job, or I'm not sure I'm going to get enough money from work to pay the rent. So put it in really kind of unemotional terms and go and think, what does this then mean? And write down the consequences of this. Each consequence. So what does this mean? So let's say the relationship ends. It means that you don't get to be with that person anymore. It means you don't have to get to spend time with that person anymore. Hang on a minute. And this is the thing, you've got to spot what something means. So I don't get to be with her anymore, or him anymore, or them anymore. So I don't have any time with them. So that means I'm going to have more time for me. And maybe in the past you've said to yourself, God, I wish I had a bit more time to myself. Okay, cool. Now you've got it. So yeah, all the stuff is really bad. Is finding one small positive or 10 small positives in a really bad situation doesn't stop the situation being bad. It just means you found some little stepping stones to get back to feeling better again. So yeah, my relationship's over. Cool, I've got time to paint, to draw, to skateboard, to play music, or whatever it is that's going to make you feel better, whatever your kind of aspirations are for things. You're going to have time for that now. Yes, maybe you prefer you were still in the relationship and doing that, but the relationship's over. So that acceptance of that, and then going, cool, not very happy about that, but at least this. So writing down the consequences of each thing and then going, well, what does that mean? Oh, that means that, which is actually a positive thing. So, I get to work less and have more time for me if you've lost your job. Or if you're worried about money, you go, okay, well, this is my opportunity to sell all of those things that I've been meaning to sell, which I never use, blah, 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 having a clear out. It doesn't stop the situation being rubbish. It just makes it feel a little bit more positive. And I'm testament to the fact that this is helpful and this works, because for 732 days now, I have every day gone on my notes section on my phone and written the positives that have happened on that day. And this is even on the day where I had to move out of my family home. I went on my phone and I found the positives. This is even on the day when my disc had re-slipped and I got that diagnosis. I found positives from that. If I can do it, I'm not special. If I can do it, then you can do it as well. So if you're having a hard time, if you feel like life is just relentlessly kicking you in the balls, then take a stand. You've got a phone, almost certainly. It's got a notes section, almost certainly. It has a reminder function, almost certainly. Take 5 minutes out of your day and change how you feel about life itself, because it's one of the reasons that I'm still here and able to make this video for you. So if you've enjoyed this and you like how I see things and you like how I talk about the world, and maybe if you've got something that you want to change about your life, whether that's anxiety, stress, low confidence, maybe you've got a phobia, maybe you've got a habit you want to get out of, get in touch about hypnotherapy and life coaching with me, Chris Piercy. You can have a free consultation call. It's a one-on-one from anywhere on the world. Just jump on an online call, chat with me for half an hour and see if I might be the person that can help you to help yourself get over whatever it is you want to get over. Thanks for listening, and I will catch you again soon.